Hello everyone. Today we are going to be doing a short 20 to 30 minute flexibility, power, and balance yoga class. So before we start, let's talk about what the differences in power, balance, and flexibility yoga are. The definition of flexibility is the maximum stretch that a muscle group or joint can receive. So whenever we go down to touch our toes or see how far we can pull our arms across our body, those are all going to be flexibility. You can train this by doing these stretches each and every day. So today we're going to be doing power stretching, flexibility stretching, what we just talked about, and balance. So let's start with some flexibility. So let's start on the floor, feet out in front of you. All we're going to do is go down and touch our toes. It's all right if your knees can't be bent. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to hold this for 10 seconds. Make sure that you're controlling your breaths. Deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more breath. Okay, now we're going to bring our feet together, bring them into us, interlace our fingers, put them on our toes, and push down through our knees. Taking big breaths. With every breath in, try to press your chest forward and press your heels to the ground. One more breath. Okay, now we're going to switch poses. We're going to put our right leg out in front of us, left knee behind it at a 90-degree angle. So now we're going to sit up on our back hip muscle, and we're going to lean back to our hip, just like this. Making sure to take big breaths. To feel the stretch a little more, try to rotate your left shoulder away from your knees. One more big breath. All right, so now we're going to come up to our knee, keeping our feet in the same position. We're going to fall forward, just like this. Taking those deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel more of a stretch, you can try to elongate yourself or just simply come down to your elbows. Okay, now we're going to come up to our foot. You want to put your right elbow down parallel with your shin bone. Deep breath in, big breath out. Big breath in, just a big breath out. All right, now we're going to switch feet. So now we're going to take our left shin, put it perpendicular to our mat. Right knee should be in line with the left foot at a 90-degree angle with the back of our shin. So we're going to come back to our hip just as we did before. Try to twist those shoulders to get more of a stretch. You should really feel this in your torso and hip muscles. Focus on your breathing, taking good, big, controlled breaths. Last breath. Okay, now we're going to come down to our knee, taking our big breath. Elbows to the ground for more of a stretch. Taking our big breaths. Okay, we're going to come up and come back down to our foot. Left forearm is parallel with our shin bone. Holding that position, taking our very good deep breaths. Last breath. Okay, now we're going to come into the happy baby pose. So we're going to start off on our back, grabbing both of our feet and pulling them into our chest as far as we can. To get more of a stretch, you can kind of rock side to side, stretching all of the hip muscles, rubbing out all the back muscles and the upper leg muscles. Okay, now we're going to come up and let's go ahead and switch to where we're on our knees with our hands on the ground. So now we're going to do the cat-cow stretch. So we're going to come down with our back slanted in like a cow. And then we're going to push our back up like a cat. After one good breath, switch it. Transitioning on our breaths in. We're going to take one more breath. Okay. Now we're going to start back with our butt on the floor, feet on the ground, and we're gonna go ahead and lay back. Pull your right knee to your chest, and we're gonna hold that. Okay, so now we're going to take our left hand and let go. Pull our right knee down, holding it with our right hand. If you can get your knee to the floor, that's great, but if not, just let it hang as far as you can, pressing down more and more with every breath out. Keeping our shoulders square to the floor. Okay, now we're going to come up, transition. We're going to take our right knee and place it across our body. Again, if you can get your knee to the floor, that's great. If not, just try to rotate your shoulders and plant them back to the floor. Taking good breaths. Keeping that left leg straight, big toe pointed out. Press down on that knee with every breath. One more big breath. Okay, now we're going to come up and we're going to switch legs. So take your left knee, interlock your fingers, and bring it into your chest as far as you can. Okay. Now we're going to take our left hand, open up our left knee down to the left side of our body. Holding that position. Try to get your knee down as far as you can to the floor. Try to keep your shoulder blades square to the floor. Just hold in that position as high as you can. Hold it for a few more breaths. Okay, now we're going to switch. So bring it back up to the top. Rotate your right leg in and bring it across your body. Trying to keep those shoulders square to the floor. Pressing down as much as you can on that knee. Pushing it closer, pushing the knee closer to the floor on every breath out. Feel the tension in your back and let it rest. Let it be still. Twisting at your shoulders. Keeping them flat to the floor. breaths. Okay, now we're going to come up to our butts and we're going to transfer over to a push-up position. So once you're in your position, you're going to want to have your feet planted flat into the floor, and then we're just going to keep our hips planted on the ground, pushing up at our chest. Stretching out all those core muscles. Pressing out of the belly, pushing as much air out as possible. Getting that good belly stretch in. If you can, lock your elbows out, shoulders out. This is going to be great for power out of your hips. If you want to turn your ankles down, toes pointing out, that's fine also. Pushing up more and more with every breath. Okay, so now we're going to transition up with our knees where they were before with the last stretch, and we're going to press down with our hands. Tuck your chin into your chest as much as you can, getting that good stretch all the way from the back of your neck all the way down to your low back. And if it helps you to push your hands forward towards you, or push them out away from you. And take a few more deep breaths. Many people don't realize how impactful it is to do power yoga stretching. If the hips and every other muscle in the body are very flexible, that muscle is going to be more stable, it's going to have more power, and will be willing to do more things than it is stiff and tight. Okay, so now we're going to come up back to our push-up plank position. We're going to take our feet, plant them in the floor, raise our hips, and walk our toes forward. We're going to hold this position. If you can get your heels flat on the floor, that will make for the best stretch. If not, come up on your toes and just press down through your shoulders, pressing that power into the floor with both your hands and your toes or whole feet. Keeping those legs as close to locked out as possible. Taking power from everywhere but your hips. Take that chin and tuck it into your chest. And Now we're gonna walk our feet up to our hands. Take 3 deep breaths in. Then out. In. And out. In. And out. Now we're going to take our hands, press them up to the sky, come up on our toes, and hold that for 1 deep breath. In. And now we're going to come down, letting our arms and shoulders rest easy. We're going to come up again. Coming down on our out breaths, letting our shoulders rest on the hold. In. And out. In. And out. In. And out. Okay, so now we're going to switch towards some of our balance yoga. This is going to help us with maintaining our balance through any situation that it might be needed. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to plant 1 foot into the ground very firmly. We're going to bend at our hips, raising our other foot back into the sky, holding your hands down, raising that back leg as high as you can. For more of a stretch, spread your arms out wide and bend as much as possible. Taking our deep breaths in, then out. In, then out. In, then out. Coming back up. Come back to the top. Up. Hands to the sky. In, then out. Now we're going to switch legs. One thing that might be very helpful as you come into this pose is finding a focal point that you can stare at. It helps maintain balance as you're focusing on that point instead of which way your foot is moving. Deep breath in and out. In and out. In and out. Now we're going to come up, back to the top, hands up, high, all the way up on your toes. Okay guys, I hope you all learned something today about the importance of regular flexibility, power, and balance yoga. I hope you learned how they can impact your life and make your lifestyle better. And I hope that each and every one of you enjoyed this workout today. So thanks for working out with me.